What's up, guys? Michael from Team Dreadnought bringing you the new DBTO3 Bastion profile. I don't think we did a profile for 2, but just know you added form-ups. But 3 is actually a decent bit different, and I think it's really fun to play. I absolutely love what Bastion Prime is going to do to the deck, so definitely pick up Bastion now. But we'll just go over the ride line real quick. Base Fort, his effect is when you ride the grade 2 over him, you can reveal 2 grade 3s to top check a card and call it to rear guard. Really solid, especially for this build, because it gives you a card for Lagrio later. You don't care what it is as long as it's on board. And then it's once per turn as counterboss 1, you can get +5. You don't care about the effects because you don't play it in your main deck. His auto is when you place Bastion on top of him, you can reveal 3 grade 3s to draw a singular card, which is really good for keeping your advantage early and finding maybe a shield value card. His other effect is kind of important. I don't personally play him in the main deck, but he has a good enough effect to where I can see why you would. His effect is on rear guard if you have 2 or more grade 3s, I believe. 3 or more grade 3 units, he gets 5k in boost. It's not terrible. I think it was pretty solid in set 1, but now I don't think it's really worth it. And his better cards. And then last but not least is normal Bastion. He's upside down. He is really good. I, again, love what he does next set, but this set he's still pretty good. During your turn, all your grade 3s get plus 2,000 power, so basically your entire board most of the time, besides the grade 1 boosters. And then at the end of the battle that your drive check revealed a grade 3 unit, discard 1 card and stand a rear guard, and he gets plus 10. Really solid. The reason he's been one of the best decks in D the entire time. Rounding out, we'll just start with the grade 3s. Bastion, we already mentioned it, just play the 3 for the Persona ride. A card we didn't really play too much of last set, but is really good this set is Heavenly Bow. Oh my god. Of Identifying Guidance Rephrasios. If you Persona Ride this turn, he gets boost, which is really solid because it allows you to give him boost. And then when the thing in front of him stands, he stands as well. So it's really solid with Lagrio, who I'll get to later. But he's just a really solid card. Now that you can play 4 of them, you're playing him mostly for his standing up cost, because you'll usually rest him for Lagrio on your first swing with Lagrio, and then stand him on your second. The deck has really become Lagrio a lot, so I mean it's really good. Alden, forever gonna be one of the best cards in Keter, at least for Bastion itself, and it has playstyle. It's when he's played on rear guard, counterboss 2, soul blast 1, and call a grade 3 from your hand. If you did, draw 2 cards. And then when he attacks your 3 or more grade 3 units, you get plus 5k power. This is insane because it makes the first swing with him 20, which already forces a 10k shield, or it forces them to use a trigger or 2 5s, which is really good. And then just the advantage, finding cards faster. You can find your form-ups. You can find any like 1-of text or anything. Really solid card. Then I've talked about him a decent bit. We'll go ahead and save him for last, I guess, because Fluke is still 4. 4 Fluke. He's going to be a really important card. I'm not sure as much as in Prime, but this is most definitely something that's pretty good now. On rear guard, you can put him in Soul to choose one of your grade 3 rear guards, and it gets plus 10. So this just helps your shit hit bigger on first swing. And second swing, remember, Bastion standing unit, so that plus 10 will go twice. Really solid, plus helps you get Soul, which you'll need for the build. And then for Lagrio. His name is no longer Ragrio. I kind of miss it. Fucking block of text here. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can counterboss 2 and rest any number of rear guards. And he gets 5, and this unit may perform drive checks. At the end of the battle, depending on the amount of units you rested, you have to discard cards from your hand. So 3 or less rear guards, you have to discard 3 cards. 1 or less rear guards, you have to discard 5 cards in total. Honestly, with this, you will rest 2, 4, or 0. Those are the only numbers you have to memorize. If you're resting 2, you'll discard 3. If you're resting none, you'll discard 5. If you rest 4, you'll discard 0. That's basically the number game you have to memorize. It's a really fun deck, and this card's really strong, and knowing when to use it is what makes Bastion so good this set. But it's definitely going to be a card you do sometimes lose the game to. And then most people play more of this. I only playing 2 form-up Ochozen Knights. I like the card a lot, and I really do like the turns where you have it, but a lot of times I felt it was dead in my hand because I didn't have the extra resource to use it, or I just didn't have the want to field another grade 3 because I maybe got a trigger off of that, and you play 4 of these now. So a lot of times I just didn't have a chance to field it. You could up this back to 3 instead of the 1-of I'm playing. You could honestly play 4 of this if you want. I just didn't find it as important in this build, and I think 2 was fine. 1 Noble Will. This is a card I just honestly like as a tech. You don't have to play it. I love its art, and it gets shield, which is really good against certain decks. It's a 20k shield against something you don't really play. If anybody of your locals plays Overlord, then it's not terrible to guard a rear guard with real quick. Can't get the restand off usually. It's not terrible. I mean, also against Flagberg, it's kind of important as well. He has to make you guard with 3 cards. If you just Noble Will, you don't have to discard any cards basically. So it can 1 card guard potentially Flagberg, depending on how high it is. 4 PGs, just play them. The new card that's been an old card is Divine Sister. Some food. When your draw checker reveals a trigger unit, you can Soul Boss 2 and CC 1. This is important for extending your Lagriel plays, or maybe Aldening and Lagreeling in the same turn if you only have 3 CB, or maybe even form upping and then being able to still use your Lagriel. This is a really important card for the deck, and I think it's very good this set. But know the next set you'll basically immediately replace it because of Bastion Farm. But it's still not bad, it's a rare, just gotta pick them up. As far as triggers go, I'm actually not playing the front triggers, instead going for draws. Lagriel you will have to discard for sometimes to make your plays effective, so the draws kind of help mitigate that. I can see you playing the fronts, and I wouldn't be too opposed to going back to the fronts. Like next set I think I'm going to. It's not terrible, but I'd recommend the draws instead of the fronts, but I wouldn't blame you playing the fronts. Then you got for the new crit trigger. I'm gonna be honest, you can skip this and be fine. It at the end of the battle it boosted. You can put it in soul to give something +2. You almost never need that effect, but it's not bad just to have as a just in case. But you could skip it this set. It's not really super worth it. Another crit, just vanilla crits, playing 8. You could go 7 and then play an extra draw trigger. I've seen a lot of people do that. I just prefer the criticals because they're in games. 4 heals. Just heal triggers. They match Bastion Driveline, so. 1 over trigger. Over trigger, you know, it's really good in D. Gives things drive checks, and it's pretty cool. It helps out the crits. Lagriel does this on his own, so know that if you check this, you kind of don't want to use Lagriel all the time, so it doesn't do anything. But if you check this off, Lagriel kind of hurts because now do minus some cards. But know that the over trigger is still really good in this deck and is going to be fantastic next set, and always has been. So over trigger is an over trigger. That's been Bastion. Remember to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. We'll have this deck in action a lot in the next coming weeks, so